Hi everyone and welcome to today's economic calendar and market update for the 15th of October 2020. My name is Paul Bottrell and I am the founder of Actions to Wealth and Online Trading Profits. It's my pleasure indeed to bring you this update today. We go straight to news. We've had the Australian RBA Governor Lowe speaking, employment change, unemployment rate from Australia coming out. The number employment now 6.9% as opposed to previously 6.8, an expectation of 7. So a little bit better than expected. And again, we're expecting minus 38.6, minus 38, and we got minus 29.5. So the unemployment news just a little bit better than expectations, and yet the Australian dollar has sold off a little, and we'll have a look at that in a few minutes. We do have later on today the EU Economic Summit. We should keep an eye on that. I don't recall that being in the calendar yesterday. Seems to be a bit of an add-on for today. Let's have a bit of news. So this is an extra one on Brexit. We will watch this with some interest, and a lot of information on here. We'll do a bit of reading on this during the day today. But due to meet about Brexit trade negotiations in Brussels, the Brexit negotiations appear to be in a fair bit of trouble. Bad for the UK, bad for Europe. They need to get an answer to that. Fully Fed this evening, Fully Fed's orange news. I don't normally follow orange news, but Fully Fed can move the market around. It is worth keeping an eye on that. We've got unemployment claims from the US, same time tonight, 8:30 p.m. Sing. And then around midnight tonight, we've got ECB President Lagarde speaking, and core retail sales and retail sales coming out of the US as we head to tomorrow evening around the same time. So not a big news day today. We've got a lot of what's going to happen done already with the Australian news, the European summit, and we'll need to watch the pound and the euro quite closely today. If there's any currency pairs you'd like me to have a look, and don't forget to put it in the box, and we'll see if I can add them to my list each week for you guys. Now let's have a look at some charts, and we're going to add one or two that. Yesterday somebody asked me to have a look at Aussie yen, so we'll do that a little bit later on. Bitcoin today, look, the daily bar today is so small you can hardly see it. At times it almost disappears. There you go, back to where it started from. Gap up, interesting gap up. Gaps tend to close in markets. Then this sort of sales bar, another sort of indecision bar. Really, we haven't really gone anywhere. If you look at the body of this bar, we sit inside it here, the open and the close anyway. Let's speak out to the high, but this bar sits inside, and again, as long as we're sitting inside this bar, I'm going to say that we are ranging and we need to break this bar to have a clear direction on Bitcoin. And I will be waiting patiently for that to happen until such time as it happens. No major moves from me. I'll just tidy up the big triangle line. I might remove the small triangle line for now. We can always put it back on later, but really, that didn't do much, did it? But really, it really is now more about the big picture stuff, and we'll keep an eye on this line here and see if we get a retest of that at some point from above. I think it's quite possible. NASDAQ, saw the 4 days up, the extended day. This reversal type bar here, a little bit of selling yesterday, continuing through the bottom of the bar at this point today. But as soon as we get below the bottom of the bar, it's just that we look like a bearish day. And I would think the bottom of this bar is a likely target for us today. Now, this is a bit unusual for me, but I do think that this high on the NASDAQ appears to be the real target here. And the question really is, are we going to have a run up at it? I think we are going to have a run up at it. And really, what I would suggest is that we may see a run down to around this level here. Somewhere down around here. And then we may see the bounce and the run back up towards the top on the NASDAQ. We really have to give this a little bit of a chance to retrace a little bit. Now what I will do is I'll just take off this previous line here to keep my chart a little bit cleaner for you guys. So here's what we're talking about with the NASDAQ. Double bottom, higher high, higher low, higher high. And for now, we're looking to come back and put in a higher low before we put in a higher high and have a run at the target. The couple of 3 days of selling here doesn't convince me that it's any more than a retracement, and won't really until it pulls back in, pulls back up and puts in a lower high. If we did that, we'd reconsider direction on this. But for now, overall, we're in a retracement leg, but looking for a bullish move, really. Very similar on US 500. I think that on the S&P, the recent high, the all-time high really is in target at some point here. And we're just looking to see how far this retracement goes before we put a leg up. And then obviously the Nasdaq and the S&P will be somewhat correlated on this. Just going to put that through there. Maybe there's a target for the downside that could come off the trend line there, or some kind of confluence, perhaps around this sort of level here. Maybe a little move down to here before we go up. But I think that's what we are looking for at this stage. Still at this stage, we are definitely on a higher high. We're looking to put in a higher low and then pop back up and take on these levels. Gold, another one that has really we did see it pop back into this range. We've got this triangle here, but for clarity on this one, I look at gold. Whenever I see monthly pivot and weekly pivot together, I expect price to spend a bit of time around it. It really is a nice strong magnet. Technically for mine, for gold, I'm going to say I've got this little double bottom here. I've got a higher low and another higher low and a high and a higher high. And overall, and we've seen this triangle, which is broken. We've seen it retest and hold here. So it's an important line, but it does just clog up my chart. I'm just going to take it away a little bit. And for now, we'll grab our friend here, the equilateral, and see how he goes. I put him on here. Sorry guys, I'll let my friend Mr. Equilateral go a little bit there. Need to grab him. I think you can see the general thing here. We seem to have a flag running up here. I just need to get a better. And for now, we're going to say that we do have this channel running up, and I'm looking for a bounce back up. We're going to have to go through monthly pivot, weekly pivot, but overall, I'm going to remain a little bit bullish on this. And again, as we said earlier, in addition to that, the top of the triangle line, which was broken and has been retested, we had that line there. I'm going to put it back to there. We are above it right now. It's another bullish sign. So for mine, I won't be directional on this until I get above monthly pivot. But for now, my overall bias is long, and I'll wait till we get a break above this area here of monthly pivot and weekly pivot, and then I'll have another run up towards weekly support one, weekly resistance one up here. Dollar yen. Look, I hope none of the phrases are too technical for you guys. If you're not following, if you need it, this will be a bit simpler. Just let me know. Put some comments into the comments box, and I'll come back and deal with them for you guys. I don't watch them live while we're in this session, so maybe tomorrow before I do that. Look, I really like this pattern here. We've seen this dollar yen inside this sort of tighter range. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to cheat a little bit. I'm just going to extend my range and say, look, I think we're still in an extended range down here. We have seen this level previously. For mine, we are still bouncing off, and I love this pattern here. We move down. If this bar closes around here, and it's early in the day, just looks a bit bullish to me, and I wouldn't be all surprised to see it move back into this range here. On oil, a test of this gap, the previous gap going on as we speak, and we have seen a bit of a push move towards it. And again, we need to watch this area pretty carefully. Get a close above here on a 4-hourly chart, and I think we are looking to head towards 43.70. Probably not with my bias lies for oil. Probably my bias lies a bit more towards 34.74. But we'll let the price decide. If we get a 4-hour chart bust up here and back above, then I'm prepared to take it and take a run up to the 43.70 target. Euro, still in the range. We did see the move down, and again, it was a little bit recently. We now do have this little similar type thing going on here, where there's a bit of a bullish channel starting to form here, but it appears to have broken through to retest the bottom of the overall range. And look, I'll be taking Euro pretty carefully with what's going on with the EU summit. And I think, there's a tiny bar on the Euro yesterday, and what it tells us is the market stopped and waiting, and that we're interested in what's going on with the EU situation. Now, Aussie, unemployment news this morning wasn't too bad, but the Aussie continues to sell, and it suggests to me the market didn't like what RBA Governor Lowe had to say earlier on today. Someone did ask me yesterday in the chat if I could have a look at Aussie yen. I'll bring it up for you now and ask me what I thought of that. And look, let's just bring a bit more data in. So we've seen Aussie yen really in this nice run up. It has put in a bit of a high, pulled back, Look, it is going to be interesting to get something on this. Let me see what I can do for you. I think that my first thought on this is that there's probably a line coming up, probably more from about here. It runs through there and provides with some level of support. Yep, with some level of support. Now, it's not off the complete bottom, and it's a bit of a spiky bottom, so I'm not too concerned about that, but it does look to be in play to me. So at the moment, I'm going to stay above that. Overall, we're still bullish, and we'll watch that level quite closely and see if we do get a break of it here. And we're pretty close to the level. Yeah, for mine, you know, right now, most recent, we've got the high, low, test of this level. And I think we're in a key level we're going to need to see. Let's call this bar the dominant bar. And if we got below this bar and below this trend line, I'll be starting to get bearish on it for now. I will be looking for a bounce and to see if we can go back in and create another, same low and a higher high. So I think we need to watch today to have the dollar yen get a little bit clearer for us as far as what's going on in the pair. If there's any other pairs you'd like me to have a look at and go through each day, just let me know. Put them in the chat on Facebook or YouTube, and I'll come back and have a look at them. Sorry if it's a bit dark in here today. We've just come back in to do this for you guys. Gosh, that's a bit of a spotlight and all. We will see you tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow, same time. Thanks for your time today. Cheers, guys.